Nigerians right now, they are still giving birth to children who are still having HIV, but yet they call us an HIV state. Our children they don't get born with that disease, no matter if both parents have it. We have technology and medicine that will put you on treatment to save the child's health. Our men, they notice that many Zimbabwean women are crowding our clinics and hospitals, and that is preventing South African women to give birth nicely. What are they doing now? They are chasing everyone away. You're talking about Nigerians having business. What businesses?
Why are you in South Africa if South Africa is so bad? Nyapi. Go back home. Or go to the UK, go to the US because you're so great.
I just want to answer C14. He said, I'm lying if I say Nigerians and others hate us. Yeah, they do hate us because the only thing they do when they come here is destroy our life, is take over our houses, is take over our health care services. And then our women end up suffering, not knowing where to go. You know, when you go to a marketplace in Nigeria, which is in the open, because they don't have all the facilities that we have here, yet they are so proud of themselves, they are so arrogant. When you go there, what you see there, people selling, they sell scary stuff there. They sell dog meat, they kill dogs and then they sell them in the market. They sell dog meat. Yes, I'm telling you, go and Google, you'll see it. They sell all the rubbish and they eat, they enjoy that rubbish, these Nigerians. And they want us to...
Our pets. They are eating our pets, they are eating our dogs.
Yes, because they are used to eating dogs back in Nigeria. They take these dogs, they roast them, they look appetizing to them, of course.
They roast them.
They roast them, yes, in the market, and then people come and buy, and then they have a bite of this rubbish.
You can't make this up. You truly can't make this up. So I'm bringing you this live feed so you guys can get to hear this live and get to understand exactly what's happening out there. So this is actually something that worries me. Worries me, firstly, because I'm Nigerian. And secondly, I think some kind of conversations are very infectious. It actually spreads. Just like I say, bad information spreads the fastest. This narrative will keep, promulgating a lot of terrible information out there. As a Nigerian, I think it's high time we begin to look inwards, because this is actually something that makes a lot of sense sometimes when you look at it critically. So we're not just listening to these videos and feeling like, okay, the foul language is something that is very crazy out there. We also need to listen to this and look inwards and see how this affects us as a country and as a people. Basically, as a people, I'm beginning to be affected by this. I know a lot of people will just say right now, this probably doesn't concern them as we speak, because these are people who are looking at life differently. They've achieved a lot of things they need to achieve in their lives. They've gotten like the best deals, they have the best businesses, they travel around the world and all of that. And that has actually placed them where they want to be and their family. So basically, this doesn't really add up to anything that should concern them. But I think as a people, this should actually concern us, because when you have a group of people who constantly, say very foul things about you, it should to a point worry you. It should get to a point where it begins to make you feel a certain way. I think that's how a lot of Nigerians feel when they get to hear this. Not just myself. When a lot of Nigerians get to hear this, it doesn't sit well. So we also need to look inwards and see how we can actually try to change that narrative. The other part of it being the government. And if the government can actually get to hear this and try to see how to make things work, how to, change the narrative. Is there anything that the government needs to do to put out some good image for the country? First, you need to start working. I think that's the best way you can actually send a better message out there in terms of the image of Nigeria. You just need to start working. You just need to change the narrative. But I hope this is not falling on very deaf ears there, because it's gotten to a point where you just begin to wonder if a lot of politicians take this thing seriously. Okay? Well, South Africans do. They have been speaking out for the longest. They have made this a culture where when something doesn't feel right, they speak out, they say it. And even if it means they need to march out, just like the Kenyans did, they march out. So I think besides the foul language and the insults and the hate, there's a lot to gain from these videos that we get to hear. It could be very hurting. It could make you feel a certain way, but it should also propel us to begin to live right, or to begin to see how to best this narrative, so we don't continually for a very long time. And sometimes when I say that the government is to be blamed, the people of Nigeria, the citizens of Nigeria are good people. I still get attacks, from people who say the leaders are extracted from the people. So if the crop of persons that make up the population are bad, then the leaders will be bad. The product of bad apples would definitely be a bad apple. So that's one of the narrative there that has also been put out. If you have a group of persons and one comes out to be a leader and he leads wrongly, you have the next one comes out, he leads terribly, you have the next one comes out badly, then what do you have in that basket? What composition of the population do you have that would say have integrity, or you would say are patriotic? So that's the mix there. It's actually a very long one. It's a very big one. And for the most part also, I've always been on this conversation where I say, I really don't know why people are so head-bound in this quest for money, as it were. I have seen a lot of people who were very rich, who were like multi-billionaires, who were multi-millionaires. And when they get to a certain point, they look back and they tell you how vanity all of that is, because they sometimes don't derive the joy in it. And you could actually want to argue on the basis that they have lived the life, they enjoyed all of this wealth, and have gotten to a point where they are actually tired. But when they also tell you how while living this life in the billions and millions they had, they also went through a lot of difficulties that you probably may not know. And looking back, that doesn't give them joy. The kind of effort and the kind of time they had to put in to amass such wealth wasn't easy. If they had all that through corrupt practices, then you know how far they would have actually gone to, amass such corrupt monies. If they were into more terrible things, then you know how far they probably might have gone to getting such wealth. And the terrible part of it is when they pass away, this whole generational wealth, as they call it, is being passed to a group of people who probably do not have any iota of sense. No skills, no creativity, nothing. They hand this over to them, who just crazily mess this up. We have a group of persons right now. We have billionaires right now whose kids, even before they pass, even before they die, we know their kids are not capable of handling anything. We have them right now. I went further to say, if you have 30 billion naira right now, what would you do with it? With acquiring the best things in life, best wristwatches, flying around the world, being on the best airlines, it doesn't really, for me, I think it doesn't really add up to anything. Some of you will probably want to argue and say it's because I have not lived that kind of lifestyle. I have not been in that space. And that's why I'm saying all of that. I am not really that kind of person that feels you really need to amass a certain level of wealth to get reckoning. I think one of the major reasons why people amass is not for generational wealth. It's not to make a certain generation or to make a whole family enjoy a certain level of comfort. I think it's basically competition. Yeah, I think it's competition. That's one of the major problems of all of this amassing wealth. You need to feel that you are better than the next person. You need to outpower, you need to outshine anyone around you materially, money-wise. And that's why you see the best of cars being paraded, the best of houses, go on social media, you get to see best of pictures, trips of where they've gone to, the kind of foods they eat. These are all competitions. Some countries are not used to that. South Africans have said it severally. They are not used to being intimidated, being talked down, being shouted at. They are not used to it. And that's why in some countries, the differences between people living in the country is just very minimal. So it doesn't get to that point where a lot of competition is being displayed and a lot of, differences in terms of wealth is being put out there. And that's what South Africans are also saying. So a lot of countries, a lot of people are really not happy with such a lifestyle. But that's what we have here. So we need to look inwards. When we get to hear all these nasty, foul languages here, we need to look inward. We understand that a certain level of the image has been dented because of a few number of persons on a terrible route, giving Nigeria this image. I think it's high time we also need to look at these things critically, so we can try to make the little change we can make. Because listening to all of these things can be very sickening. We don't need to be in this space. When you get to hear these people pour out their minds, their hearts genuinely in regards to dislike, total dislike of the activities of foreigners in their country, you would want to just, have to weigh it before you comment on it. Because This is a group of persons who feel they've been trampled upon. Their country has been messed up by foreigners. We need to see what exactly they are talking about. That's on one hand. The other hand, it would be that if they are making all these allegations and putting out this narrative, we also need to see if this makes sense. If it makes sense in the line where you need to compare these countries and see why do they think it's easier for them to have fixed their country and other countries are just trying to, feast on them, as it were, rather than go fix your own countries. In terms of population, Nigeria stands at 237 million people. That's Nigeria for you in terms of population. And if you go to South Africa, the population is around 63 million. That's just closely short of a quarter of the population of Nigeria. So in that sense, that could actually be negligible. If you were to compare that to what we have in Nigeria right now, you could actually say this population could be managed. It could be managed. Okay, we shouldn't be having any of those vices and some few elements there in terms of governance and government that they have currently compared to the population of Nigeria. And if you go to Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe is about 16.3 million. So that's just like a state, some states in Nigeria. So that's also a very far cry to the population of Nigeria. So if you go on the basis of population, which of the countries do you think will be harder to manage? So basically to be Nigeria. Just going by the population, it will be very difficult to manage a country like Nigeria. Not just to manage a country like Nigeria, for a black nation, for an African nation to manage itself, that kind of population, that would be crazy. Because if you look at it globally, Nigeria stands at number 6 position in the world in terms of population. And I think South Africa is around 29 or 30th. So you can see the difference in terms of population.
I understand it used to be China, but India has taken over. So it should be India, China,
United States of America, and I think Indonesia, Pakistan, and I think Nigeria. I'll actually check it and just leave it there. So that's the population there. So that's a very, very strong determining factor. And when you go in terms of the ethnic groups, in South Africa, I think we have about 5 major ethnic groups. In Nigeria, we have about 250 ethnic groups. And the ethnic group of a country does not commonize that country. It actually creates a difference. So 250 ethnic groups in a population of about 237 million, that's a lot of difference. It's a lot of difference. You could have one person saying yes to a decision. You have the other saying, no, we don't really like this. And you have someone standing in the middle. A lot of differences created in a mix where you have so much population and so much difference. How do you manage that? And when you go to South Africa, majorly they have, let's say, 5 ethnic groups in a population of about 63 million compared to what you have in Nigeria, especially when it has to do with an African nation, a black nation. So these are also some of the things that come to mind. In terms of local councils, what we call local governments in Nigeria, Nigeria has about 774 local councils. It's not a country that has a lot of common grounds. There are a lot of differences there. And when you go to South Africa, the ethnic groups in South Africa is being defined by color. So you have 80%, more than 80% black. The population of South Africa has a composition of more than 80% black. More than 80% black persons are South Africans. So majorly the country is composed of black people. Majority of the population of South Africa is black. And we still have the white composition, Indian composition, and other black African composition there. So that is the mix where I think a lot of, ideas can come in from the whites, a lot of ideas can come in from Indians, a lot of ideas can come in from, the other Africans who are also South Africans. Like the Namibians are also South Africans because they say they share dual citizenship. So most Namibians are South Africans and some South Africans are Namibians. So you can see a mix of races, the ethnic group where it gives it a lot of advantage in terms of, ideas, creativity from different background, different race and different sphere, adding that to the mix in South Africa, that gives it a certain level of advantage. So I'm just trying to break this down there so we can understand how difficult, how complicated Nigeria is to govern or to manage compared to all of these African countries that have been listed here. So one of the main reasons why I'm bringing this video up is to listen to what South Africans are saying in regards to neighboring countries, and in regards to Nigeria. One of the neighboring countries that have been now brought to the fore majorly will be Zimbabwe. In my previous video, you get to see when they say Nigerians have been in South Africa for the longest compared to other neighboring countries also. Zimbabwe is now added to the mix. So on this live, every day that's what's being said. It's like they now have platforms where they can air out their grievances if the government is not ready to listen to them. So they have different channels, different platforms where they air out some of their grievances. Let's go into this video and listen to the cries of South Africans where they are continually asking foreigners to leave their country. Zimbabweans, leave us alone. Nigerians, leave us alone. And they have also highlighted reasons. They always highlight reasons to why they don't want these African countries in their country, especially Nigerians. They don't want Nigerians in their country. And most times I always tell you guys, these videos are for clarity. As these videos keep coming up, I'll try as much as possible to make sure I'm bringing out these videos to you all, so you get to understand the differences we have among some African nations, especially South Africa, who feel a certain way. And we wouldn't want the kind of uprising that happened some few years back that caused a lot of people to lose their lives, businesses and properties. So we wouldn't want that. So I hope this goes a long way to educate a lot of people who probably may never have known this has been going on for a very long time now. So let's listen to their cries and let's listen to their narrative. Let's listen to their points. Let's listen to what they have to say this time. Because the last time it wasn't pretty, and this time also it looks like it's not going to be pretty. So let's listen to this.
Nigerians right now, they are still giving birth to children who are still having HIV, but yet they call us an HIV state. Our children they don't get born with that disease, no matter if both parents have it. We have technology and medicine that will put you on treatment to save the child's health. Our men, they notice that many Zimbabwean women are crowding our clinics and hospitals, and that is preventing South African women to give birth nicely. What are they doing now? They are chasing everyone away so that we South African women can enjoy the benefits of being pregnant and having our own medicine and programs awarded to us, and we don't have to fight with other people from lazy countries. You talking about Nigerians having business? What businesses? What businesses? Commander Josh told you that he has a business and you said it's a small business, but we don't see any Nigerian business on the JSE. With regards to that lady, Zimbabwean lady, she's busy saying we are fighting the wrong people, we should fight the government. It's funny because when we ask them why are they not in their country, they say no, it's because of our government. So we must hold our government accountable, but they can't hold their government accountable. That's very funny. And he's saying, no, we are brothers and sisters. Listen, we've been helping Zimbabwe. If it wasn't for South Africa, I don't know where Zimbabwe would be. I mean, currently, even when they they host their international sports like soccer, they use our facilities. We don't have a problem. It's been years that we've been carrying Zimbabwe on our back. And then when it comes to C14, what I'm just going to say is that South Africa is heaven to you guys. We understand, but don't abuse us. For example, you don't even have a local league, soccer league. You don't have cricket. The last time we went to the world competitions, your cyclist had to borrow a bicycle. So please don't compare yourself with us. We are just here cruising nicely, not bothering anyone. We just want people to leave us alone. You understand? And again, South Africa is not a continent, it's a country for South Africans. When we say that our men have built this country on their blood, sweat and tears, we are meaning it. The last time I was on a live arguing with a Zimbabwean man saying that South African men are lazy, and I asked him, how do you feel? You are in South Africa, you switch on a South African TV, you watch a South African news channel, and they say a woman, a Zimbabwean woman who was heavily pregnant with a child, a young child, was trying to cross Bait Bridge, was swept away in the river. How do you feel? But you managed to call South African men lazy. You see, if a country does not care about the process of pregnancy and giving birth, they have failed. Nigerians right now, they are still giving birth to children who are still having HIV, but yet they call us an HIV state. Our children they don't get born with that disease, no matter if both parents have it. We have technology and medicine that will put you on treatment to save the child's health. Once you find out you are pregnant, already there is a program set up until you give birth. Our men, they notice that many Zimbabwean women are crowding our clinics and hospitals, and that is preventing South African women to give birth nicely. What are they doing now? They are chasing everyone away so that we South African women can enjoy the benefits of being pregnant and having our own medicine and programs awarded to us, and we don't have to fight with other people from lazy countries. You're talking about Nigerians having business. What businesses? What businesses? Commander Josh told you that he has a business and you said it's a small business, but we don't see any Nigerian business on the JSE, on our stock market, if it's that big and if it's helping South Africa. You know, we can mention a lot of things that you can learn from us. We don't mind sharing the knowledge. We've always shared knowledge, but never in your life call a South African man lazy. Because a lot of Nigerian lives have been saved by South African systems, health systems that they got for free. Right now, when you get on TikTok, the second TikTok that you see is a woman from Nigeria saying that I've been living in South Africa for 13 years. I had all my 3 kids here free of charge and they are healthy. But their Nigerian men refuse to go back and build a system that will allow them to be happy while they are pregnant. Let me tell you, South African women, when they are pregnant, we treat them as gold because we know that they might be carrying the next president, someone who will change the course of this country. But you guys, what do? You leave your wives and kids at home to fight the battles. And you go and marry old UK women to rob them of their pension fund. Now UK is changing their laws. No one is going to benefit from those old women but their children. So I don't know what's going to happen. A 25-year-old Nigerian man going to marry a 65-year-old UK woman. And that woman's child went to court. They prevented him, took him out of everything that woman put him in. He's not going to benefit anything. So please, when you see South African men, bow down, because the system that South African men started building from the apartheid days up until now, it's still carrying Africa. We've built stadiums that are now being hosting Chris Brown, Beyonce. What can you do if Beyonce says he wants to pay? Beyonce doesn't even want to see Nigeria. That's the standard that we have kept. Our South African men are fighting for us women right now. Next year we have plans to push you out of our educational system. That's our South African men. While you are busy in the UK or wherever you are not even sending money or sponsoring any school for it to prosper. You know nothing about national building. All you worship in Nigeria is self-enrichment. And let me tell you, our politicians are not us. They might entertain you guys, we are not. Whatever Ramaphosa is promising you, we are not for that. We are South Africans, and South Africans will fight for the land that their forefathers have been buried in. Before you can say Nigeria, thank you to a South African man, and you must say thank you to all the South Africans that have been holding this Africa afloat. Thank you very much, Mr. Mike.
Why are you in South Africa if South Africa is so bad? Miapi. Go back home. Or go to the UK, go to the US because you're so great and we're horrible. Great, no problem. Leave us again. We have no problem. Go to the UK, go to the US because your people are doing amazing things there. Go there. Yo, you people, yo, I'm so angry. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say because I'm just too angry right now. I'm too angry.
All right, thank you so much, my sister. Thank you. Hayi ungakwati kakhulu sikhona. Sobanyisa la ekhaya. Sikhona, my sister, sikhona. Ungasabi nje sikhona. I'm going to move on to Babum Duduzi before I go to others. I'm going to move on to Babum Duduzi.
Thank you. Thank you, my leader. I'm so glad. I just want to answer C14. He said, I'm lying if I say Nigerians and others hate us. Yeah, they do hate us because the only thing they do when they come here is destroy our life, is take over our houses, is take over our health care services. And then our women end up suffering, not knowing where to go. So they hate us. So he mustn't deny that fact. Another thing that I need to tell this C14, because he's speaking as if Nigeria is a great place. Nigeria is, I just want to explain what I have learned about Nigeria. I've never been to Nigeria. I don't even want to go to Nigeria. You know, when you go to a marketplace in Nigeria, which is in the open, because they don't have all the facilities that we have here, yet they are so proud of themselves. They are so arrogant. When you go there, what you see there, people selling, they sell scary stuff there. They sell dog meat. They kill dogs and then they sell them in the market. They sell dog meat. Yes, I'm telling you, go and Google, you'll see it. They sell all the rubbish and they eat, they enjoy that rubbish, these Nigerians. And they want us to...
Our pets. They are eating our pets. They are eating our dogs.
Yes, yes, because they are used to eating dogs back in Nigeria. They take these dogs, they roast them, they look appetizing to them, of course.
They roast them.
They roast them, yes, in the market, and then people come and buy, and then they have a bite of this rubbish. They sell all this stuff, yet they come here and pretend that they are the best Africans in the world. They become so arrogant towards us.
A roasted dog.
Yes, yes, they roast dogs. And even oqam, I don't know what oqam is in English. And all these scary animals that a human being is not supposed to eat, they roast them in the market. It is not a secret. You can Google that. You will find it as exactly as I'm saying it. You will see it. I was shocked. They come here, they pretend they are the greatest Africans, but we don't eat that kind of rubbish. Do you know what they do here? They come here, we have our own fish here, but they order fish all the way from West Africa. They send it here and it stinks. That fish stinks. It produces a terrible smell all over. These people must really respect us because we are decent human beings. Wherever they go in this country, they make our places stink. That's what they are doing. Now, I want to tell this C14, when he says that South African people are lazy, I'm a black South African. I was born and bred here. I'm a visual artist. I grew up drawing because I was gifted. I studied fine art. I did whatever I did. Then I started exhibiting and selling my art. Is that laziness? And it's not only myself. There are many black artists that I know here who work very hard, who work through the night, who burn the midnight candle to produce art and to sell. My work is in collections in the US, Modern Museum of Art. You find my work there. Now, am I lazy? It means that through my laziness, I did all that. Now, I just want to tell this Nigerian guy, this C14, one thing. When I was studying in Cape Town, there was a guy from the Igbo tribe in Nigeria. That guy said to me, you know what? I'm very glad that I am doing my PhD in South Africa because a PhD in a Nigerian university is a joke. That's what he told me. And he was not afraid. He was not ashamed of what he was saying. He was being honest. He told me that if I were to do my PhD in Nigeria, I would be joking, because most Nigerian PhDs are jokes. Those are not PhDs. Here I'm doing a proper PhD. So as a country, we have good systems that are working. It's not only our health system, it's also our education system. It is working. So the reason why these guys hate us is because they are jealous. They are jealous of our resilience, that we actually suffered, but we stayed in our country. We built our country. We improved our situation here in our country. We didn't run to Zimbabwe or Nigeria or Pakistan. We stayed here, and then they come all the way. How many borders do Nigerians cross before they reach our country? How many borders? Why don't they go to Ghana? Why don't they go to Cameroon? Why don't they go to Burkina Faso? Neighboring countries. Why do they come all the way here? And then when they arrive here, they start looking down upon us. Thank you. I submit.
Okay, that's the video there. And just like I said, we just need to listen to all of this and know how to allow that sink in, and to go back to the drawing board and see what other Africans are doing wrongly, so to stay away from a lot of this mess happening there. So we would actually leave it there. Thank you guys for coming on the show today. If you're new here, we just want you to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can actually get to see any video I post instantly. You'll be able to get to see that there. Leave your comments in the comment section. So this is very important. Leave your comments in the comment section. That is where the clarity comes through more. Because when we say this, when I say this, sometimes I truly fall short. Most of the times I fall short in trying to explain this. But when you leave your comments in the comment section, it gives a more defined clarity into what we seek. And this would actually meet our video goals each time we put out a video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Twali.